Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really special and interesting new disc. I mean, spectacular, really, from the ever fertile mind of Robert Townsend, who is, the power behind Verray's Saraband while that existed, and all kinds of things devoted to film music and that whole amazing, rich legacy of incredible music that we are only just now beginning to appreciate belatedly. Well, it turns out that Robert Townsend decided it was time to do a new version of Pictures at an Exhibition. The artist in question, whose pictures would be exhibited, is Bob Peak. Now, many of you may not have heard of Bob Peak, but Bob Peak is one of the great commercial illustrators in American history. He lived from 1927 to 1992, and he did a tremendous amount of work, but he's best known for his movie posters. He did everything. He did West Side Story. He did Star Trek. He did Apocalypse Now. He did, I think, Total Recall. He did just Camelot and My Fair Lady, and he was the Hollywood movie poster guy for much of his career. But he also did illustrations of all kinds of other things, and reasoning that all of those other movies that he did posters for already had soundtracks, Townsend asked his friends and colleagues, composers in the film and television universe, to select an illustration by Peak and write a piece of music to it, which could be assembled into a suite. And then he got Leonard Slatkin, and he put together the Los Angeles Film Orchestra, as that's what it's called, yes, which is a pickup group of great Hollywood musicians, including, from the general profession and milieu that Leonard Slatkin grew up in, because both of his parents were famous Hollywood film musicians and conductors and whatnot, and then play it, in L.A. and record it. And here it is. A wonderful production. It's always gratifying to see projects brought to fruition when the person behind it does it right. And Townsend does things right. I mean, that's the thing, because we have so little of that. Who was it? H.L. Mencken, I think, who said, all I want is mere competence in anything from adultery to zoology. You have to stop and acknowledge, especially in this day and age, people who know how to do things right, who know how to conceive of a project, develop the project, realize the project, and just do it all beautifully. So here it is. It's on Warner. Yes, it's a Warner Classics release, which is great. That means it'll have general distribution. It was part of a concert, you can see here, where they took the illustration and played the music while the illustration was showing. And if you get this, you can do it in the comfort and convenience of your own home, because there is an excellent booklet that gives you each of the illustrations, which I can show you here, which is being described in music. And here, let me just tell you what's in here. Each illustration and each composer, some of whom will be familiar and some of whom will not be. So let's see what we got. Here we go. You ready? First, you get on piano a promenade from Pictures at an Exhibition, played by Robert Tease. It's fine. It's excellent. And then we've got Maria Newman, Alfred Newman's daughter, who is herself a composer, doing the Rhapsody for a Golden Age, the 1937 Academy Players Directory cover. Which is like, okay, wow, that's interesting. And here it is. Wait a minute. You guys see, it's a beautiful cover. Really beautiful. There we go. Oh, it's so cool. It has this sort of Klimt-like look to it. It's really quite nifty. So there's that. And then we've got Michael Danna doing the Time magazine cover of Mother Teresa. There you have it. So there's that. It's a very wide range of subject matter. So you get a very wide range of music, which is really the point. Harry Gregson-Williams, Two Girls with Sparklers. Here's a lovely illustration there. And Ihab Darwish's Curva Grande from, let's see, what is this? Fastest Corners in Car Racing. This is from the 1970 Sports Illustrated. So that's like really, really cool. I mean, Peake did amazing illustrations throughout his career. We've got, the 1964-65 World's Fair. And this one is particularly near and dear to me because I was there. I was little. I was only a little kid, but I remember it because my grandmother took me, my mother's mother, and we went to the World's Fair together. And I went on the cable cars with my grandmother. It was one of my earliest really exciting memories. We did the rides, all that. It was such an incredible day. I'll never forget it. And here we have 4 minutes and 46 seconds of music to recall that wonderful day. Oh, I felt so happy. Marco Beltrami, excellent composer of film music and other things, doing The Spirit of Sport. Jack Nicklaus, so from the Special Olympics 15th anniversary, 1983, it looks like that is. That's this thing here, right there. And then we've got, oh, goodness. Michael Abels. The title is Unbound for Jesse Owens from the 1936 Berlin Olympics. And there's that illustration. I hope you can see. These are wonderful illustrations. Beautiful. And one of the funniest tracks is Mark Shalman's A Song About Audrey, dealing with Audrey Hepburn, in which Shalman actually sings it, sort of. He really had no idea what he could say about Audrey Hepburn. He said because she already has a song, right? She's got Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. So he said, what am I going to do? So this is a what am I going to do piece. It's very amusing. It's a wonderful contrast to the seriousness of some of the other pieces. And there's that illustration of Audrey Hepburn, which is just wonderful. Let's see. Don Davis, Golden Eagles. I wonder, let me see if I can see where that's from. A beautiful illustration. No, I don't say. From 1978. And then finally, Bill Conti, the great Bill Conti, conductor, arranger, composer. You know, he always conducts the orchestra like the Academy Awards and whatnot. This is from the 100th anniversary of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1983. And there's the illustration. It's a bridge that I drive over several times a week going to work right on the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn. So you should get the light away from it. There we go. Yeah, it's a beautiful illustration. I mean, I don't know how well they'll come out here, but each of these composers also contributes a note about their own piece. And like I said, I mean, you're not going to get a better performance than Leonard Slatkin gets from the Los Angeles Film Orchestra. And it's just a brilliant idea. It's wonderful. It's fresh. It gives you some really nice music. It's filmy music, yes. You want to say, is it like classical? I mean, who cares? It's good music. It's fun music. It's an enjoyable production. You can sit there and look at the illustrations, read the composer's notes about each piece, and draw your own conclusions. But it's one of those pieces that it just immerses you and gets you involved, not only in a selection of really fine music, a really interesting music, diverse music, but also the illustrations of a major artist. And I think, at bottom, the lesson is, because especially in the classical music world, which is just snotty as hell, everybody poo-poos commercialism, capitalism, popularity, and all of those things, that it's just about quality. It's not about what it's for. It's not about what the economic forces were that conspired to produce it. It's simply about how good is the product, how professional are the people who are doing it. And in this world of commercial music that we find in the film industry and in television and commercials, there are brilliant, extraordinarily gifted, amazingly well-trained musicians who produce absolutely top-notch work, and artists who produce absolutely top-notch work. You may not think of them in the way you think of Rembrandt and Picasso, but I'd be hard-pressed to say that they're less gifted or less visionary or less capable. Bob Peak was certainly one of those. And so, it's more than just a flash in the pan. This is something that really says something, I think, about modern culture and the people who operate within its boundaries and what they're producing. And I just adored this thing. And I think you will too. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.